Well, you just couldn't call, could you, MAGAs? You just couldn't help out a few thousand or million people who are going to go hungry and are going to live in the fucking streets. Thanks, MAGA. Thanks a whole hell of a lot. Because most of the goddamn people live in your fucking states.
My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month. Oh, that will kill me. That would kill my friends. That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
We're in California's District 22, a rural community in the state's Central Valley. This district voted for Trump for the first time in 2024, but now his policies threaten one of the benefits people here rely on the most. Do you know anyone personally who voted for President Trump but depends on benefits like Medicaid?
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people.
One resident who would be impacted by Medicaid cuts is 64-year-old Irma Arredondo, who voted for Trump in 2024. Irma has several chronic health issues, including type 1 diabetes. She's also a full-time caregiver for her daughter, who has cerebral palsy, and her sister, who has Turner syndrome.
The medicine that my daughter takes for seizures, I won't be able to afford it. So we feel hopeless if those cuts come, you know. What we want to do.
Irma was a farm worker for more than a decade. She believes that some of her and her children's health issues can be linked to the pesticides she was exposed to while working in the fields.
Look at me right now. Look at me, how many sicknesses that I have. We got all in the fields. Where else? I feel like these tubby nuts in the back, you know. But why? Why when we put food on their tables? Trump promised a lot of things. I thought it would be more family values and those programs that we really need here.
One of those promises was to protect Medicaid, which 67% of people in this district rely on. It's the largest percentage of any district in the entire country.
Hi guys, my name is Kelvin and you're welcome back to the channel. Look at this. Look at these people. They voted for him. They believed him. They put their trust in a man who looked them dead in the eye and said, I will not touch your Medicaid. I will not touch Medicare. Your benefits are safe. And now they're sitting in California's 22nd district, one of the poorest, most Medicaid-dependent districts in the entire country, staring at the same man signing off on the largest cuts to those exact programs in American history. Irma Arredondo, 64 years old, former farm worker, type 1 diabetes, caregiver for family members with disabilities, Trump voter. She is watching her daughter's seizure medication hang in the balance. She is watching the only health care her family has ever known start to disappear. And she is saying the word that every single one of these people is feeling right now: hopeless. How many times did we try to tell them? How many times did we say, he is not who you think he is? How many times did we warn them that the promises were campaign theater? That the moment the cameras turned off, the math would take over? They didn't listen. They called us alarmists. They called us liars. They said we were the ones who hated America. And now the bill is coming due. This is not about red versus blue anymore. This is about people who genuinely believed a salesman when he told them the house wasn't on fire. While he was holding the matches, they believed him. Why? Why did they believe him? That's the question that keeps me up at night. Because the evidence was always there. The pattern was always there. The words and the actions never matched. And somehow, that didn't matter. They looked at a man who has spent his entire adult life treating people like disposable props, and decided he was going to be the one who finally looked out for them. That's not just a political mistake. That's a catastrophic failure of judgment. And the people who are going to pay for it are the same people who put him there. The rural poor, the disabled, the chronically ill, the ones who have the least and were promised the most. They played themselves. And the rest of us are stuck in the car with them, while the driver refuses to look at the road.
That Medicare, Medicaid will not be touched.
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, we're not going to touch it.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
This bill represents the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. It will devastate vulnerable populations.
the largest tax break go to the wealthiest individuals. Are those your values?
No, that's not right.
Irma isn't the only one in District 22 who feels betrayed by the administration's plan to gut Medicaid.
The only people they're hurting are the poor people. People that really need the stuff. Elon Musk doesn't need it. Trump doesn't need it. And, billionaires don't need it.
They're making out big time with this, but they're hurting people in the process.
If we could go back to November, who would you vote for now, seeing what you see?
Not either one.
You just wouldn't have voted.
Not either.
Tonight, the breaking news, CBO confirmed $500 billion worth of cuts to Medicare. It is shameful what is in this. It is the biggest actual taking of wealth from the bottom 10% in this country and transferring it to the top 10%.
So Trump just said that it is impossible for him to take care of Medicare, Medicaid, and daycare. MAGA is so fucking stupid, okay? He is taking all of our money. He's taking every last dollar of the federal government and he's giving it to himself and his friends. He's cutting Medicare and Medicaid from the federal government. Watch. That's what he's telling us. And he doesn't believe in affordable daycare. So every time they want to force a woman to have a freaking baby that she doesn't want to have, and they want to tell people to have kids they can't afford and then yell at them when they can't afford to feed them, this is what he's doing. He keeps telling us out loud. And I cannot believe that MAGA thought for 1 second that he was going to do anything to make our lives better. He's stealing our money every single day. And it's only going to get worse. He's now having our sons and daughters in a war, losing their lives. So there's that. You MAGA, you suck. I cannot stand you people. You fell for it. We told you. You could not be more stupid.
A few things. One, every single Republican who voted for this big, ugly bill, whether they're in the Senate or in the House, every single one of them deserves to lose their job in their next election. And we need to make that happen. We've got to make it happen.
Big, beautiful bill, Medicaid cuts. I'm for it because I'm an able-bodied American citizen right now. I'm headed to work.
Here's my mother-in-law. She worked 40 hours a week too at the same company for 32 years, and she was union, and then she got brain tumors and she lost her health insurance because if you're not working, you're gonna lose your health insurance, and then Medicaid and Medicare kick in. Every single person is one tragedy away from having to be on Medicaid and Medicare. You're one brain tumor, one car accident, and for you specifically, looking at you, I can tell you're one heart attack away from needing Medicaid and Medicare.
Trump supporters, I hope y'all know what y'all did. We don't want to hear a damn thing when y'all realize y'all have lost everything. SNAP, Medicaid, Social Security, Veterans Assistance, FEMA. We don't want to hear y'all get on not one platform and say, oh my God, this is not what I voted for. You knew what you were getting. You knew you were getting the same exact thing you got in 2020. The only thing is, you're going to be dumb enough to sit up here and blame someone else for Trump's decisions and your vote. Because by the time this comes down the pipeline, it'll be 27, 28. And Frumpy will be getting ready to get out of the office. And the next president will take his place. And that president will be responsible for everything this man has created right now in 2025. I don't want to hear your children don't have an education. They don't have food to eat at school. Free lunches are gone. Nobody wants to hear that there is no hospital in your goddamn town anymore. Because you voted for your hospital to be destroyed. Because you voted to eliminate everything, including Medicaid. And the reason you voted for all of this, because you only thought it was going to affect immigrants and people who were not white. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Well, America, you did it again. The big, beautiful bill has passed. Congratulations. Half of you are going to be fucked now. I hope you're happy with yourself. But here's what I need. I need everyone that works in social services, whether you're taking the calls, completing the application, if you have contact with someone that is going to be losing their benefits, I need you to do me a favor. You need to say, I am sorry, you're no longer eligible for benefits due to the Trump administration. Just like that. Just like that. They need to know and they need to hear how fucking stupid they are and they were and what they voted for. Because the majority of these people on these benefits, Republican, of course, all the red states, all the damn red states. It's not the immigrants like they always claim to be. It's them. Them. So, once again, you screwed yourself over. Congratulations.
So, I got a legitimate question, right? Why the fuck are we still paying taxes? Nah, I'm being so dead ass because with this new budget bill that just passed, they are cutting trillions out the budget in all the things that make our way of life somewhat palatable. All the different social safety nets that people depend on to get by is essentially being gutted in one way or another. Everything from Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, WIC, the FDA, the EPA, FEMA. There's a reason why that tornado was over your head before you even knew about what was happening this past summer. It's because they've been gutting the agencies that would give you the early warning. Like, it's been happening all year, and this budget bill is going to take it to the next level. And we have to remember, they're still taxing us at the same fucking rate.
So what are we doing with all the old people? When the big, beautiful bill passes, 1 in 4 nursing homes nationwide will close their doors. So what are we doing with all the old people in there that don't have families, that don't have anyone to take them in? Are we just going to leave them there to rot, or will you actually physically remove them and let them unalive on the streets? And then when that happens, who's going to pay to have them removed from the streets and buried or cremated? Who's doing that?
So the health insurance marketplace just opened today here in Oklahoma. And I just went and looked up my current plan. And it's going up by 160%. I can't afford that. We knew this was coming. I don't know why I'm surprised. It was just shocking to see it in black and white. 160%. So, I knew this was very likely, but I'm not going to have health care next year. I'm 57, I'm healthy, but all I can afford is the catastrophic care. This is the richest country in the world. But my government doesn't care about me. My government doesn't care about my health care. Again, I knew this. I'll make a longer video later when I can deal with it. But, yeah, reality set in.
Get ecstatic over Senate passing Trump's big, beautiful bill. Like, you guys are not about to get hit the hardest after the outcome of this bill. Like, 3 million people are about to be out of food assistance. Who do you think the majority of those 3 million people are? Quick guess. It ain't black folks. It's white people. Right? I think it says $900 million cut from Medicaid. Who's on Medicaid the most in this country? White people. Like 16 million people are about to lose health insurance. Why are we celebrating this? Because what? Because a couple of y'all work jobs where you don't have to pay taxes on tips? You think that's worth 16 million people losing health insurance? You know how many people about to pass away? You know how many people about to starve? I don't know if MAGA realized this, but most of you guys are broke. You guys are not in the 1% in this country. You guys are broke. Why did you vote for this? I'm confused.
I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up and realize what is going on around us. I'm a nurse practitioner at a federally qualified health center, meaning that my patients are people who would not typically be able to access the private healthcare sphere, i.e. people on Medicaid and Medicare. I have patients every day asking me what's going to happen to their healthcare benefits, what's going to happen to their access, and I just have to sit here and tell them that I really don't know. But what we do know is that this is going to impact families, children, babies, children who rely on federal assistance for things like formula and food. children that have experienced traumatic events, abuse, getting shot in their homes, their friends being shot right next to them, will not be able to access mental health care. Can you imagine what that does to a 13-year-old? America is the only country with a similar GDP that does not offer universal health care to its constituents. Shame on our government and to anyone not holding them accountable.
So today, Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill passed the United States Senate. And I have 3 important points I need to make. Starting from the top, Lisa Murkowski. What were you thinking? Let's level set here. You were able to recognize that cutting SNAP benefits, any cuts to Medicaid, was a terrible idea for your state of Alaska. And you sought out provisions for your state so that your constituents would not be affected negatively. If you could see that for Alaska, how come you couldn't see that for everybody else and vote no? Then you get on national television and say, I hope the House essentially votes this bill down and sends it back to the Senate because it's not done yet. That's like me cooking chicken, taking it out of the oven when I know it's not done, taking a bite out of it and saying, this isn't quite ready. Why even take the risk? Point number 2. I have to admit this. As terrible as this bill is, the people that are going to be affected the most by it are the people who voted for this. And I'm going to be real, I don't feel sorry for these people. Rural Americans, a lot of lower income, uneducated Americans, a lot of those people voted for Donald Trump. Not all of them. I want to make that clear. Not all of them. But a lot of them did. You voted for this nonsense. Live with it. Last point. A lot of these cuts that are going to go into effect won't go into effect until after next year's midterm elections and after the 2028 presidential election. Republicans know full well they're probably about to lose either both chambers of Congress or at least one chamber of Congress. They also know it's highly likely they're probably going to lose the presidential election. And what's going to happen is these cuts are going to go into effect when Democrats control either one or two chambers of Congress or the White House. And Republicans are going to put all the blame on them. So my message to Democrats, get your messaging right about who passed this bill and whose fault it is.
I want to live in the 80s. I want to live in the 80s. We got Ronald Reagan in office right now. We got the reincarnation of Ronald Reagan in office. We're about to get another version of Reaganomics. Picture this, right? It's the 1980s. You got a man in office who is not only unqualified, but his hatred of poor people is affecting his policies. Because he's in office, the economy has been the worst it's ever been in decades. Where am I going with this? What's going to happen is if the big, beautiful bill gets passed, there's going to be a new drug that's cheap, easy to make, easy to process, easy to sell. And then that's when they're going to start cracking down and criminalizing black and brown folks for selling it, even though they're the ones who put it in the black and brown communities in the first place. We're going to be seeing an uptick in crime because people are not going to be able to feed their families, and they're going to blame that on black and brown people. Again, they're going to ignore our issues continually until it starts affecting white people, which is probably when they start dying en masse, which is going to happen because of Medicaid, but they're still going to gaslight us by blaming it on something that is completely different. And those idiots who voted for this in the first place are going to fall for it. But I just need you to not fall for the propaganda and understand that this is part of the model. We are living in a 21st century version of Reaganomics, including a very underqualified idiot in office, along with his cohorts who are just as insane, just as worse, and just as incompetent. And the only difference is people are going to get desperate. Do not fall for it. Do what you can to survive and keep your head above water. But just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout in the next coming years.
My mom is 59 years old and she lives in a nursing home. She became disabled after having me. and she's been on Social Security disability benefits since 1992. These benefits pay for her 20 different medications that she takes several times a day. It pays for her nursing care. It pays for the living expenses that she has there. And in April, she got a letter from Social Security stating they had reason to believe that she was no longer disabled and could re-enter the workforce. She's been eligible for disability for 34 years, but now she's capable of working. A resident of a nursing home. Tell me again how these Medicare and Social Security cuts aren't going to affect us.
So we've all seen today that the Senate passed Trump's mega bill, but do you know the companies who back this bill? And before I get into that tea, it is important to know that not only are programs like Medicaid and SNAP, which are food benefits and health benefits that impact poor people in the United States of America, will be gravely impacted, but it also provides more protections for police, expands surveillance, makes it easier to fire federal workers, will limit the power of independent regulatory bodies like the DOJ, the Department of Justice, and the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. So who are the companies that supported this bill because of the tax breaks? You can head over to whitehouse.gov and see all of the companies in alphabetical order. So let's name a few that you might be giving your money to, shall we? Starting with AT&T. Comcast. And for all my frequent flyers, y'all gonna love this one. Delta Airlines, United Airlines, UPS, T-Mobile, Verizon, Uber, just to name a few. Again, you can head over to whitehouse.gov and see all these companies and organizations that don't give a damn about your rights.
So they officially passed the big, beautiful bill, and it's now going to go into effect. But it's just really dumb to me because they're going to be cutting Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So what is the point of that? They're also cutting student aid and then cutting funding from public schools as well. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to take away the tax on gun silencers. They're going to lower the taxes on that because that's what matters. You know what I mean? It's just crazy that they called it a big, beautiful bill when it quite literally is going to affect a lot of Americans in a negative way because they receive these benefits. They receive this government assistance because they need it and that's why they have it. And now all of that shit is being cut. Makes absolutely no sense at all. And it's being cut in order for rich people to get more rich. When the people who are on assistance because they need that. The rich people don't technically need that government assistance. So why the fuck are you getting rid of something that's helping other people in order for you to get richer when you already have a lot of money? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's called a big, beautiful bill, which is ironic because it's ugly as fuck. And it's literally going to cause harm to a lot of people in America. Just, it makes no sense to me at all. This shit is actually so fucking dumb. It's ridiculous. It's actually stupid.
I told y'all that Medicaid was going to be non-existent. Right now, Medicaid, it is hot outside. Right now, Medicaid is frozen in all 50 states until they decide what they're going to do with the big budget bill at 5 o'clock today. So if they don't come up with a conclusion of what they're going to do, guess what? It's still going to be frozen in all 50 states. I don't think that's just frozen for the immigrants, like some people like to say, but nobody going to listen to me. And they don't understand that this is going to affect more than people who... The Medicaid is only for the people who need it. No, it's also going to affect nursing homes. It's going to affect hospitals. Why? Because the less patients they have in there, which means they're going to lay off doctors and nurses and CNAs and LPNs, which means that those people are going to be laid off and jobless. I don't think that y'all are really understanding what the fuck is going on. Oh, and then like childcare, they're talking about ending childcare. Do you not understand that it is basically the government against the citizens? I don't think y'all realize what's really going on. Y'all keep believing them people if y'all want to, but y'all better get prepared. And now we was always laughing at those immigrants trying to come over to the United States, but watch us be trying to go to their countries and go get medical help.
You know, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm fucking tired of Democrats and Republicans at this point. I mean, dear Lord. Democrats, all you do is whine and cry, and use your emotions to override facts and get people all hyped up, and really you're just grandstanding because you want the social media clicks, because that's really all you care about. Republicans, you're just wallowing in your own shit. You think that government's on cruise control and we're winning and everything's going to be great, and you're overlooking the fact that shit's pretty crazy right now. And combined, you guys are all psychotic. The rational people, I'm not even in the middle, okay? I'm just rational. I'm about personal and individual liberty and making the country great. At the end of the day, I just want what's right for the country. Politics right now is absolutely fucking crazy. You know, as much as I like President Trump, the Republicans really aren't his friends, and we'll find that out when they don't pass the one big beautiful bill this week, because I don't think Speaker Johnson has the votes. And at some point, we're going to have to find a middle ground, because this two-party system is beyond fucked. I don't know. Hope you all are paying attention, because things are changing pretty drastically. It's just the undercurrent, the undertones that people aren't saying. Read the tea leaves.
So as somebody that grew up on government assistance and food stamps, I'm not mad at Trump at all for cutting some of the government benefits that they're giving out, because y'all, let's not act as if people aren't abusing this. Let's not act as if we ain't got an epidemic of people who just don't want to go to work because they expect the government to take care of them. I saw two people on TikTok the other day arguing, and it was a man and a woman, and the man wanted to go to work. The woman was mad at him, yelling at him, would not let him go to work because of the fact if they found out about his income, she would lose her government-funded housing and she would lose her benefits. And she would not let the man go to work because she didn't want to lose that. And I think that's an issue in America, bro. Like, there's a lot of people that do that. Y'all, if Trump is opening up more jobs, then you should want to get up and go work and not have to depend on the government. The government assistance is a stepping stone to help you get to a point where you can get back on your feet and do for yourself and take care of yourself. That's what it's about. It's not about, oh, well, just sit back and let people who go out and work take care of me so I can live an easy life because I need to live an easy life for whatever reason, bro. All of us have to get up and work. White people, black people, Mexicans, everybody got to get up and work. Nobody is owed anything by the government. Nobody is owed anything by America. Nobody deserves no handouts, bro. I don't want no handouts. So, and Trump didn't cut the government benefits out. Like, y'all are making it seem like he just got rid of it. He just made stricter eligibility requirements. So one of them is you got to work at least 80 hours a month, not a week, a month. That is 20 hours a week, 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Bro, if you can't do that, and you expect people who go out and work 50, 60, 80 hours a week to use their tax dollars to take care of you, then you the issue, bro. And you are the main ones that Trump is targeting to get off of this and get up off of your ass and go do something for yourself. So I'm not mad at it at all, bro. He opening up more jobs, so y'all not have no issue.
Let's talk about what actually happened. Donald Trump told these people repeatedly on camera, in rallies, in interviews, that their Medicaid was safe, that their Medicare was safe, that he was the one who would protect the programs that keep them alive. Then the votes came, then the bill came, then the numbers came. Hundreds of billions cut from Medicaid, the largest reduction in the program's history. Cuts that hit rural hospitals, cuts that hit nursing homes, cuts that hit the exact people who showed up for him in record numbers in places like District 22. And the response from the people who still defend this? They should have known. They should have read the bill. They should have understood that something had to be cut to pay for the tax breaks. No, that's not how this works. You do not get to look a 64-year-old woman with diabetes in the face, promise her that her daughter's medication will still be there, and then turn around and act shocked when she feels betrayed. You do not get to campaign on, "I'm going to protect the forgotten man," and then forget him the second the donors need their tax cuts protected. This is the oldest con in the book. Convince the people with the least that the people with the most are the real victims, and then transfer the money upward while the people at the bottom absorb the pain. And the most painful part, a lot of these voters still don't see it. They are still looking for a way to make it make sense, still searching for the loophole that proves this isn't what it looks like. But it is exactly what it looks like. They were passengers in a car driven by someone who only looks at what's directly in front of the bumper. No long-term vision, no concern for the cliff 2 miles down the road, just the next shiny object, the next applause line, the next tax cut that makes the rich richer, while the people who believed him start calculating how they're going to pay for insulin and seizure meds. And the rest of us? We're in the back seat screaming. We've been screaming for years. We can see the crash coming. We can see the hospital closures. We can see the families who are going to lose everything because they trusted a man who has never once prioritized anyone but himself. But the driver isn't listening, and half the passengers are still cheering every time he floors it. That is the most frustrating and frightening place to be in a democracy, because the people who are about to get hurt, the worst are the ones who still think the man behind the wheel is on their side. Here's the part that should terrify every single person watching this. The three branches of government are not the final word. They never were. There is a fourth branch, and that fourth branch is us, we the people. We own this country. The people we elect work for us. They can be fired by us. And if they break the law, if they knowingly harm the people they swore to protect for the benefit of the already powerful, they can be held accountable by us. That is not a slogan. That is the entire design of this system. But it only works if we stop treating politics like a team sport and start treating it like the life and death power structure that it actually is. These voters in District 22 are not abstract statistics. They are the proof that when you hand power to someone who treats your needs as optional, you will eventually discover just how optional they really were. And the only question left is whether the rest of us are going to keep riding in silence, or whether we're finally going to take the wheel. So, here's where we leave it. If you voted for this and you're watching your benefits get gutted, I need you to sit with that feeling. Don't look away. Don't let the propaganda tell you it's someone else's fault. You were sold a story. The story was a lie. And the people who told you the truth were the ones you dismissed. The good news is that this is still our country. The power still belongs to us, but only if we use it. Stop waiting for someone else to fix what we allowed to break. Stop treating elections like loyalty tests instead of job interviews. And stop pretending that the man who told you what you wanted to hear was ever going to deliver what you actually needed. We, the people, are the fourth branch. Act like it. I'll see you in the comments. Stay loud.